Okay, question 7. Find f-4. What does that mean, f-4? Well, f- means we're differentiating, and the 4 means instead of x, I'm going to substitute 4 into my function. So differentiate and substitute is the name of the game for this one. So first thing we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to find my mouse. There we go. Loves to disappear. We're going to have to rewrite my form. We're going to have to rewrite it into a nice differentiated, differentiation friendly version. So I've got f of x. I'm going to write that as x to the half, and that's 3x take away, and I'll say that's 2 over, right now I'll just call that x times x to the half. Okay, so what I've done there is taken away my surds and written them in fraction form. So x to the half, I'm quite happy with that. Let's keep you there. 3x is fine, but let's try and tidy this up. So if I multiply those together, what I'm saying is this is x to the 1. Now the 1 is the same as 2 over 2, isn't it? So I can rewrite that as 2 over 2. And if I multiply my terms, I'm going to add my indices. So that becomes 3 over 2. So I can say, well, that's going to be x to the 3 over 2. So if I rewrite that whole thing, it'll be 2x to the negative 3 over 2. Because when you cross the line, you change that sign. So I've added them together and then changed. That's fantastic. Right, now I'm ready to actually multiply my brackets. The same again. That's going to be the same as 2 over 2, isn't it? And I'm going to multiply together these terms and then these terms. So if I add those powers, I'm going to get 3 over 2, 3 over 2, because 2 halves and a half. Very good. And then I'm going to end up with a half take away 3 halves. So that's going to be take away, 2 halves. I'll just write that as take away 1. Oops. Oh no, I've lost it. Take away 1. Yeah, because I'm doing a half. Take away 3 halves, which is negative 2 over 2, which is just negative 1. So that's my first bit of working. A lot of people there would go, ta-da, finished, look at me, I'm amazing, and go and substitute in. But actually, what you've done is set up your equation. You've still not actually differentiated. So remember, when we differentiate, x squared becomes 2x. We multiply the power and the coefficient, and we take 1 away. So if I'm doing f dashed x, I'm going to multiply them together. That's going to give me 9 over 2 x. Take 1 away, so taking away 2 halves. Leave me with a half. If you want over here, just do a little sum, just to remind you, yeah, that's going to be a half, that's fine. 3 times 3 over 2 is going to give me 9 over 2. Do the sums at the side if you want, that's totally fine, whatever works for you. Multiply these two together, so it becomes a positive and then negative 2x. And I'm just going to rewrite that. So that's going to be 9 over 2, and that'll be root x plus 2 over x squared. Fantastic. So that's me done the differentiating. And finally, I need to evaluate when x is 4. Okay, so you should be thinking this is looking good because I can do a root 4. So this is nice. So put in my 4, 9 times root 4 divided by 2 plus 2 over 2 squared. So root 2 and the 2 are going to cancel out because they're both 2. So I'm left with 9. And that's 2 over 4, which is just a half. So final answer, sorry, is that right? 2 over 4 would be a half. Yeah. 2 over 4. I feel I've done something wrong here. Let me think. Ah, yes, I have substituted in. Tiny little mistake there. I've substituted in. There we go. I should have been a 4, shouldn't it? Sorry, I'm putting 2 in there. I was thinking about all the 2's. So 4 in there, sorry. So that's going to be 2 over. My spidey senses were tingling. I just felt like there was something not right there. So it's going to be 9 and an 8. Fantastic. Okay, so let's have a look at the marking scheme then. So quite a big question that, but almost feels quite algebra heavy rather than technically difficult. So let's have a look. So you're getting a mark for writing out in differentiation form. So there's your first mark. So just rearranging, that's good. You're then getting a mark for your differentiating the first and the second time. So you actually got a mark for this and this, according to the marking scheme. And this is only worth 1 mark. So once again, look at that. All the real work is at the top of the question. all this we're substituting in, not really worth a lot, is it? So when you see these questions, you're thinking, oh, what does that even mean? You see a differentiation sign, you want to do some differentiating, okay? There's loads of marks to be had right at the beginning. That was just indices rules, which we've been doing for a long time. Okay. So yeah, hope that was helpful.